Hi, this is John Lockwood for John Next Door, and I'm showing you how to put together the basic square scene box. At the beginning of the video you'll have seen some of the more complicated versions and some of the beautiful designs you can create. On this video tutorial it's to show you how to put the box together from the box die on its own. So I'm just going to bring the box die in. If you can see here, what you're going to get in the set is you get this large panel which makes you the back or the front of the box, and I'll explain that in a minute. Two aperture dies, a square one and a clipped corner, and a die with a flap running down the side, which we use for the back and for the fold section at the front. So to get the box together to start with, what we need to do is to cut the first main section, which is this die, which is the box, and then you would choose either one of the apertures that come along with it, or you could use something like my Oakham die, which matches exactly with it, or a die from any other company that fits within a 5 by 5 space. So here you can see I'm using a press cut die of their beautiful bracket sort of squares, so anything can fit in. And what we would do is you would put these together and cut this through your A4 cutting machine by either using the magnetic plate or by taping the dies down. Speed this up, I've got one I've already cut and I'm just going to slide that one in. So when it's cut and it's on the front, this is what you get. So if you can see here, hopefully you've got your aperture cut, so this will be the front of my box. You've got all of your different side flaps and everything cut for you, and everything is embossed with this line. Now these lines come just by cutting the die, so you don't have to emboss it with an embossing mat to get the lines, as the lines have been put on the die very deep. Now the next thing to do is to make our folds. So I turn the die cut onto its front so that it is right side down, and starting on one edge I put my fingers behind the fold and just rock the fold up and fold. Same with the next one, and fold. Rotate it 90 degrees and do the same again, and you'll get into a really easy rhythm with this. And what you'll find is it's very easy, but face down, push against the card with your fingers at the back, and it just folds. I'll just do the fourth one so you can see that. Fold and fold. The next step is to just fold in each of these little tabs, and there are 4 of these, 2 on one tab on each side. Now if you can see, that's already starting to pull together to make our scene box. And there we go. Sorry for the shaking camera there. I'm actually filming this in my new craft cave, so this is the first video I've shot in here, so I'm not quite getting it right, but sorry about that, it will get better. Now what we need to do next is to seal this together and put a back on. So I'm going to push this one out of the way, and here's one I've already prepared. I'm just going to grab the right tool, and all I've done again on the front on one end is to put some red line tape on each of the small flaps. So I'm just going to take the protective sheet off this, which is never the easiest thing to do. There we go, one off. Take the second off, there we go. Okay, turn it onto its front and just glue those 2 bits together. There we go, 1 and 2. You can see there that's started to make it quite stable. So I'm going to fold in the 2 side panels and the base. So now we need to have a back section. So what we do is, using the other die that's in the set, so this is the one that I described earlier with the flap on there, we need to cut 2 of these, one for the front and one for the back. And what you can do is put 2 pieces of card together. This is 280 GSM card. If you can see, these are both being cut together at the same time, and even the lines are still showing. So one of them for the reverse, I would make the fold, take my scissors and then cut that section off. That will give us a flap for the back, and I find I get a lot neater cut, obviously when I don't on the video, when I make the fold first. The next thing to do is to take that, and here's one I prepared earlier. I've put red line tape around 3 of the sides. So I'm just going to take that off, take the protective sheet off each one of those. And again, never easy when people are watching. Take the third one off. Well, there we go. There we go. There we go. So I've got adhesive on 3 sides. So the middle section, or the bottom, I'm going to take that and I'm going to marry it up to the bottom flap that has been glued down. So if you can see there, it's on that piece there, and it goes neat against the fold. And all I do is pull one side up and close the box, pull the next side up and again close the box. Turn it over, and if you haven't put acetate in, you can just press along there. If you have put an acetate in there, you can just slide a pokey tool in just to give those edges a little fold. But if you can see there, then you have got the main body of the box, but obviously we leave a flap open so that I can slide in the scene or the gift or whatever I'm going to put in there in the middle. So the final stage is to put the front onto this. So I'm going to take the second flap that I cut and I'm going to fold it, but what you need to do with this fold is fold it in one direction, then in the next, and fold it back, and keep folding it until you've really broken that fold. And I call it the floppy stage, and it means that the card will fold in either direction. If you don't do that, when you come to open your card, it won't want to open properly. But again, I'll show you that on the finished article. So all I'm going to do is run some red line tape again down that seam. I find red line tape or wet glue is the best for this. For instant grab, you want to use red line tape as it's the strongest available. I wouldn't recommend normal double-sided tape as that can dry and crack. And I take my box. I personally prefer to have the opening section at the top. I just marry the front together and close the front. And the reason for making sure that the fold works is so that when I open it, it opens easily. If I haven't made that fold that way, it will start to pull away at the corner. So there I have the basic box. I can slide in whatever I want to and just either pop that flap inside to seal it, or if you want to be very secure, or you're making a shaker card with this, I would seal it on the back so that you get a nice crisp edge. But there is the basics of how we use the John Next Door Square Scene box card, and the next video will show you how we use the Oakham can never get the word right, in combination with this to get a prettier front to it, a lattice front, and how we can really go to town with decorating it. For more ideas and inspiration, please visit my blog, which is www.johnnextdoor.co.uk. Thank you.